Have you ever tried to change your life, to manifest love, success, or abundance, only to feel like the universe wasn't responding? You've visualized, affirmed, and hoped, yet deep down, it feels like your efforts are falling on deaf ears. That's because the secret to changing your life isn't just about asking the universe for what you want. It's about commanding it to respond. Most people get stuck waiting for the universe to act before they allow themselves to believe. They say, "I'll feel successful when I see the results," or "I'll feel loved when the right person comes along." But here's the truth. You have it backward. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you assume. Your assumptions, your feelings, your state of being, these are the commands you send out into the world. And the universe has no choice but to obey. This is the teaching of Neville Goddard. The universe is not some distant force outside of you. It is you pushed out. Your consciousness is the creative power that shapes your reality. When you change your assumptions, you change your world. But how do you make the universe respond? How do you shift from wishing to knowing, from hoping to commanding? The answer lies in feeling it real. It's about stepping into the energy of already having what you desire, of embodying the emotions of your wish fulfilled until your mind accepts it as truth. When you do this, you stop chasing and start living in the reality you've created within. The universe will have no choice but to align with what you feel. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more struggling. I will show you how to make the universe respond, how to feel it now so it becomes real. Are you ready to step into your new reality? Let's begin. The universe is a mirror, vast and unyielding, yet infinitely responsive. It does not discriminate, nor does it judge. It simply reflects. What you see before you, the circumstances of your life, the relationships you nurture or endure, the triumphs and trials that shape your days, are not the work of an external force, but the projection of your own consciousness. You are the architect of your reality, though you may not yet realize the power you wield. Consciousness is the only reality. It is the foundation upon which all experience is built. Every thought, every emotion, every assumption you hold within yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the mind. And just as a seed must grow into its destined form, so too must your assumptions manifest in the outer world. The world does not respond to what is. It responds to what you assume to be true. Consider this. Your assumptions, though they may seem fleeting or insignificant, are the blueprints of your reality. They are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of your existence. If you assume lack, you will experience scarcity. If you assume abundance, you will find yourself surrounded by opportunities. The world is not fixed. It is fluid, ever-changing, and entirely subject to the assumptions you persist in. Assumptions, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. These words, simple yet profound, hold the key to understanding the creative power of your consciousness. An assumption is not a mere wish or a fleeting thought. It is a state of being. To assume a thing is to embody it, to live within it as though it were already true. And when you persist in this assumption, when you dwell in the feeling of its reality, the outer world has no choice but to conform. You may wonder how this can be. How can something as intangible as a thought or a feeling shape the material world? The answer lies in the nature of consciousness itself. Consciousness is not confined to the mind. It is the very essence of existence. It is the creative force that animates all things. When you assume a state of being, you are not merely thinking or imagining. You are aligning yourself with the infinite power of creation. The outer world is not separate from you. It is an extension of your inner state. If you wish to change what you see around you, you must first change what lies within. This is not a call to action in the traditional sense, but a call to stillness, to introspection, to the silent work of assumption. Most people live their lives as though the world were an external force acting upon them. They wake each day and immediately tune into the same frequency, the frequency of struggle, of limitation, of fear. They check their phones, recall yesterday's challenges, and unconsciously react with stress or frustration. In doing so, they reinforce the very patterns they wish to escape. They are, in essence, requesting the same experiences to continue. But what if you were to break this cycle? What if, instead of reacting to the world, you began to create it? What if you shifted your energy, elevated your emotional state, and assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled? When you operate from a state of lack or fear, your mind becomes hyper-focused on problems. You interpret situations through the lens of survival, reacting instead of creating. Opportunities pass you by, unnoticed, because your energy is attuned to scarcity rather than abundance. But when you shift your energy, when you radiate confidence, gratitude, and joy, the world begins to respond to you differently. Imagine walking into a room where someone is radiating joy and enthusiasm. Without a word, you can feel their energy. You are drawn to them, uplifted by their presence. Now imagine someone who carries the weight of anxiety and frustration. Their energy repels, even if they try to mask it with words or actions. This is not magic. It is the law of assumption in action. Every emotion has a frequency. Love, gratitude, joy, and compassion vibrate at higher frequencies, while fear, guilt, and anger vibrate at lower ones. Like energy attracts like energy. When you exist in a high vibrational state, you begin to attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with that frequency. The key to mastering the law of assumption lies in silence, not the absence of speech, but the stillness of mind. It is in this silence that you can align yourself with the infinite power of creation. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. The world you see before you is a reflection of your inner consciousness. Change your assumptions, and you will change your world. Imagination is the God force within you. It is the creative power that shapes your reality. To imagine is to create, and to feel is to bring that creation into being. Imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the divine faculty within you, the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the unmanifest and the manifest. It is the tool through which consciousness expresses itself, the means by which you shape your world. To imagine is to call forth the infinite possibilities of existence and to mold them into the form of your desire. But imagination alone is not enough. It is the feeling that gives imagination its power, its life. Feeling is the secret that makes imagination effective. When you imagine a thing, you must feel it as real, as though it were already true. You must occupy the state of being that corresponds to your desire. For it is not the act of imagining that creates reality, but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The state you occupy emotionally determines what you attract. Your emotions are not fleeting reactions to external circumstances. They are powerful frequencies that shape your reality. Every emotion you feel carries a unique energetic signature, sending out a signal that interacts with the world around you. When you consistently embody elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, you create a powerful field of energy that draws new opportunities, experiences, and possibilities into your life. Most people live in a state of emotional survival, unconsciously recycling the same feelings day after day. They wake up thinking about yesterday's problems, feeling the same stress, worry, or frustration, and unknowingly reinforcing a future that mirrors the past. They believe their emotions are dictated by external circumstances, waiting for something outside of them to change before they allow themselves to feel happiness, peace, or abundance. But what if it worked the other way around? Science has shown that when you experience an elevated emotion, your body doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your mind and what's happening in your external world. When you generate feelings of gratitude before anything in your environment changes, your brain begins to rewire itself as if the event has already occurred. This is the power of living from the end result through feeling. To live from the end result is to occupy the state of being that corresponds to your desire. It is to feel the joy of fulfillment, the gratitude of abundance, the peace of resolution, before the outer world reflects it. It is to step into the reality of your wish fulfilled and to dwell there, even as the world around you seems unchanged. This is not denial or escapism. It is the conscious act of creation. It is the recognition that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that by changing your inner state, you change the outer world. It is the understanding that you are not a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in its creation. Imagine, for a moment, that you desire a deeper sense of connection in your relationships. Instead of focusing on the lack of connection you currently feel, you imagine the joy and fulfillment of being deeply connected. You feel the warmth of love, the ease of understanding, the harmony of shared purpose. You dwell in this feeling, not as a fleeting thought, but as a sustained state of being. You live from the end result. And in doing so, you begin to attract circumstances, people, and experiences that match that frequency. The same principle applies to any desire. If you seek financial abundance, you do not focus on the lack of money. Instead, you imagine the feeling of abundance, the security, the freedom, the joy of having more than enough. You feel this as real, as though it were already true. You live from the end result, and the world responds accordingly. This is the power of imagination. It is not enough to simply think about your desire. You must feel it. You must occupy the state of being that corresponds to your desire. For it is the feeling that makes the imagining real, that brings it into manifestation. The world you see before you is a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to change your world, you must first change your state. This is not a call to ignore the challenges of life, but to transcend them. It is the recognition that the outer world is not fixed, but fluid, and that by changing your inner state, you change the outer world. Silence is the key to this process, not the absence of speech, but the stillness of mind. It is in this silence that you can imagine your desire and feel it as real. It is in this silence that you can align yourself with the infinite power of creation. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. The power of imagination is the God force within you. Use it wisely. Feel your desire as real, and the world will conform to your assumption. This is the power of imagination. This is the secret of creation. Live from the end result, and the world will reflect your inner state. The past is not set in stone. It is malleable, fluid, and subject to the power of your imagination. To revise the past is to transform the present and reshape the future. You are not bound by your past. The events that have shaped your life, the memories that linger in your mind, the stories you tell yourself about who you are, these are not fixed, unchangeable truths. They are states of consciousness, and like all states, they can be revised. The past does not define you unless you allow it to. It is not your history that determines your identity, but the state of consciousness you choose to occupy. Revision is the art of rewriting your past. It is the conscious act of revisiting a memory and altering it in your imagination. By revising the past, you transform your present consciousness, for the past exists only in the mind. It is not an external reality, but an internal one. And because it is internal, it can be changed. The technique of mental revision is simple, yet profound. You begin by selecting a memory that feels limiting or painful. You close your eyes and enter a state of stillness, a silence that is not merely the absence of speech, but the stillness of mind. In this silence, you revisit the memory, not as it was, but as you wish it had been. You rewrite the script, changing the dialogue, the actions, the outcome. You infuse the memory with feelings of joy, peace, or resolution. You dwell in this revised memory until it feels real, until it replaces the old memory in your consciousness. This is not an act of denial or escapism. It is an act of creation. By revising the past, you are not erasing it. You are transforming it. You are changing the meaning it holds for you, and in doing so, you are changing your present reality. For the past is not a fixed event. It is a state of consciousness. And when you change your consciousness, you change your world. Consider this. Every memory you hold is a story you tell yourself. These stories shape your self-concept, your identity. If you tell yourself a story of failure, you will see yourself as a failure. If you tell yourself a story of unworthiness, you will feel unworthy. But these stories are not truths. They are interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. To change your self-concept, you must release the old stories. You must let go of the narratives that no longer serve you, the memories that weigh you down. This does not mean you forget them. It means you revise them. You give them a new meaning, a new feeling. You transform them from sources of pain into sources of power. Your identity is not fixed. It is not determined by your history or your circumstances. It is a chosen state of consciousness. You are not who you were yesterday, nor are you who you will be tomorrow. You are who you choose to be in this moment. And in this moment, you can choose to be free. The power of revision lies in its ability to liberate you from the past. It allows you to transcend the limitations of your history and step into a new state of being. It is not enough to simply imagine a better future. You must also revise the past that has shaped your present. For the past and the present are not separate. They are interconnected. To change one is to change the other. Imagine, for a moment, that you have a memory of a failed relationship. This memory lingers in your mind, shaping your beliefs about love and connection. You tell yourself a story of heartbreak, of unworthiness, of failure. But what if you were to revise this memory? What if you were to revisit it in your imagination and change the outcome? What if you were to infuse it with feelings of love, understanding, and mutual respect? As you dwell in this revised memory, something extraordinary happens. The old memory begins to lose its power over you. It no longer feels real. The revised memory takes its place, and with it comes a new sense of freedom. You no longer see yourself as a victim of heartbreak, but as someone who is capable of love and connection. Your self-concept changes, and with it, your reality. To enter a state, mentally feel yourself performing the actions you would physically perform. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and the world will conform to your assumption. The art of mental scenes is the practice of creation. It is the deliberate act of constructing a reality within your imagination. A reality so vivid, so real, that it feels as though it has already happened. This is not mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is the conscious use of your imagination to shape your world. For imagination is the God force within you, the creative power that brings all things into being. To create a mental scene is to enter a state. It is to mentally feel yourself performing the actions you would physically perform if your desire were already fulfilled. The key to a successful mental scene lies in its ability to imply your wish fulfilled. It is not enough to simply imagine your desire. You must imagine the actions, the emotions, the sensations that would accompany its fulfillment. You must create a scene that is so vivid, so detailed, that it feels real. This is not an act of force, but of surrender. It is the act of stepping into the reality of your desire and allowing it to become your own. Persistence is essential. You must return to your mental scene again and again, dwelling in it until it feels natural and real. For it is not the act of imagining that creates reality, but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And this feeling must be sustained. It must become a part of you, a state of being that you occupy effortlessly. The first-person perspective is crucial. You must imagine the scene from your own eyes, not as an observer, but as a participant. You must feel the emotions, the sensations, the actions as though they are happening to you. This is not a detached exercise. It is an immersive one. You must become the person who has already achieved your desire, who is already living the life you wish to live. Sensory vividness is equally important. You must engage all your senses in the mental scene. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents, taste the flavors. The more vivid the scene, the more real it will feel. And the more real it feels, the more powerful its effect on your consciousness. One of the most effective times to practice mental scenes is before sleep. As you drift into the subconscious state, your mind is most receptive to impressions. By rehearsing your mental scene before sleep, you impress it deeply on your consciousness. You plant the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of the subconscious, where it can take root and grow. Imagine, for a moment, that you desire a promotion at work. You close your eyes and enter a state of stillness, a silence that is not merely the absence of speech, but the stillness of mind. In this silence, you create a mental scene. You see yourself sitting at your new desk, in your new office. You feel the weight of the new responsibilities, the pride of achievement, the joy of recognition. You hear the congratulations of your colleagues, the sound of your name being announced. You feel the texture of the new chair beneath you, the smooth surface of the new desk. You smell the fresh scent of the office, the aroma of success. You dwell in this scene, not as an observer, but as a participant. You feel the emotions, the sensations, the actions as though they are happening to you. You persist in this scene until it feels natural and real. And as you drift into sleep, you impress this scene deeply on your consciousness. This is the art of mental scenes. It is not merely a technique for achieving desires. It is a tool for transforming your consciousness. And when you transform your consciousness, you transform your world. The world you see before you is a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to change your world, you must first change your state. This is not a call to ignore the challenges of life, but to transcend them. It is the recognition that the outer world is not fixed, but fluid, and that by changing your inner state, you change the outer world. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. The art of mental scenes is the God force within you. Use it wisely. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the Sabbath. It is the rest that comes from knowing, the peace that arises when striving ceases, and the faith that allows creation to unfold. The Sabbath is not a day of the week, nor is it a ritual of external observance. It is a state of consciousness, a profound stillness that arises when you release effort and rest in the knowing that your desire is already fulfilled. It is the moment when you cease striving, when you let go of the need to control, and when you trust in the infinite intelligence of your own consciousness to bring your desire into manifestation. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the Sabbath. It is the state of being in which you dwell in the reality of your desire as though it were already true. It is not a fleeting emotion, but a sustained state of consciousness. To rest in the Sabbath is to release effort. It is to cease striving, to let go of the need to make things happen, and to trust in the creative power of your consciousness. This is not a call to inaction, but to a higher form of action, the action of being. For it is not your physical efforts that create reality, but your state of consciousness. When you rest in the Sabbath, you align yourself with the infinite intelligence of the universe, and you allow it to work through you. Divine timing operates through your consciousness, not clock time. The world may seem to move at its own pace, but the true measure of time is the state of consciousness you occupy. Detachment is an act of supreme faith. It is the willingness to let go of the need to control, to trust in the creative power of your consciousness, and to allow the universe to bring your desire into manifestation. Detachment is not indifference. It is the recognition that your desire is already fulfilled, and that the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state. When you detach from the need to see immediate results, you enter the Sabbath. You rest in the knowing that your desire is already yours, and you allow the world to conform to your assumption. Imagine you desire a promotion at work. You have planted the seed by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You have mentally rehearsed the scene of sitting in your new office, feeling the pride of achievement, hearing the congratulations of your colleagues, and experiencing the joy of recognition. You have persisted in this mental scene until it feels natural and real. Now, you enter the Sabbath. You release effort. You no longer anxiously check your email for updates or obsess over whether your boss has noticed your hard work. Instead, you rest in the knowing that the promotion is already yours. You trust that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring your desire into manifestation. You go about your day with peace and confidence, knowing that the outer world will soon reflect your inner state. This is the Sabbath. It is not passive waiting. It is active faith. You have done the work of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and now you rest in the promise that it is done. The Sabbath is not a passive state. It is an active state of being. It is the state of consciousness in which you dwell in the reality of your desire as though it were already true. It is the state of being in which you release effort, cease striving, and rest in the knowing that your desire is already yours. The world you see before you is a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to change your world, you must first change your state. This is not a call to ignore the challenges of life, but to transcend them. It is the recognition that the outer world is not fixed, but fluid, and that by changing your inner state, you change the outer world. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. The Sabbath is the rest that comes from knowing, the peace that arises when striving ceases, and the faith that allows creation to unfold. Rest in the Sabbath, and the world will conform to your assumption. The techniques of consciousness shifting are not mere exercises. They are the tools of creation. They allow you to impress your desires upon the subconscious, to align your emotions with your assumptions, and to live in the end result as though it were already true. The power to shape your reality lies within your consciousness. It is not enough to simply desire a change. You must actively shift your consciousness to align with the reality you wish to create. This is not a passive process, but an intentional one. It requires discipline, persistence, and a deep understanding of the techniques that allow you to impress your desires upon the subconscious mind. The state, akin to sleep or SATS, is one of the most powerful techniques for impressing the subconscious. It is the state of consciousness that exists between wakefulness and sleep, a liminal space where the mind is most receptive to suggestion. In this state, the critical faculty of the mind is relaxed, and the subconscious is open to new impressions. To enter SATS, you must first relax your body and quiet your mind. Lie down in a comfortable position and allow yourself to drift into a state of deep relaxation. As you approach the threshold of sleep, bring to mind a mental scene that implies your wish fulfilled. See yourself in the desired state. Feel the emotions and engage all your senses. Persist in this scene until it feels real, until it becomes a part of you. The key to SATS is repetition. You must return to this scene night after night, impressing it deeply upon your subconscious. Over time, the scene will take root in your consciousness, and the outer world will conform to your assumption. The I remember when technique is a powerful tool for backdating your manifestations. It allows you to shift your perspective from longing for your desire to recalling it as though it has already happened. This technique aligns your consciousness with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, reinforcing the assumption that your desire is already yours. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you might say to yourself, I remember when I used to worry about money. Now I have more than enough to live comfortably and generously. By speaking as though your desire has already been fulfilled, you reinforce the assumption in your consciousness. This technique can be used in conversation, in your inner dialogue, or as part of your mental rehearsal. The Isn't It Wonderful practice is a simple yet profound way to align your emotions with your desires. It involves repeating the phrase, "Isn't it wonderful?" while assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This practice shifts your focus from lack to gratitude, from doubt to faith, and from struggle to joy. For example, if you desire a loving relationship, you might say, "Isn't it wonderful to be deeply loved and understood?" As you repeat this phrase, allow yourself to feel the emotions of love, joy, and fulfillment. This practice aligns your consciousness with the frequency of your desire, making it easier to attract into your life. Consciousness shifting is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Begin each day by assuming the state of your desire. As you go about your day, monitor your thoughts and emotions. If you catch yourself slipping into doubt or fear, gently redirect your focus back to your assumption. Use affirmations, mental scenes, or the "Isn't it wonderful?" practice to reinforce your desired state. To live in the end result is to embody the state of your desire in every aspect of your being. This includes your speech, your posture, and your mental diet. Speech. Speak as though your desire is already fulfilled. Use language that reflects your assumption, such as "I am" or "I have" statements. Avoid words that reinforce lack or limitation. Posture. Your body language reflects your state of consciousness. Stand tall, move with confidence, and carry yourself as though your desire is already yours. Mental diet. Be mindful of the thoughts you entertain. Feed your mind with thoughts that align with your desire and reject those that contradict it. Imagine you desire a promotion at work. Each night, as you drift into SATS, you create a mental scene of sitting in your new office. You feel the pride of achievement, hear the congratulations of your colleagues, and see the details of your new workspace. You persist in this scene until it feels real. Over time, this assumption takes root in your subconscious, and the outer world begins to reflect your inner state. Suppose you are healing from a past hurt. You use the "I remember when" technique to shift your perspective. You say to yourself, "I remember when I used to feel so much pain from that experience. Now, I feel at peace and free from the past." By speaking as though the healing has already happened, you reinforce the assumption in your consciousness, allowing the outer world to conform. The techniques of consciousness shifting are not mere exercises. They are the tools of creation. They allow you to impress your desires upon the subconscious, to align your emotions with your assumptions, and to live in the end result as though it were already true. The world you see before you is a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to change your world, you must first change your state. This is not a call to ignore the challenges of life, but to transcend them. It is the recognition that the outer world is not fixed, but fluid, and that by changing your inner state, you change the outer world. The journey from manifestation to spiritual awakening is the journey from the outer to the inner, from the world of form to the realm of pure consciousness. It is the recognition that you are not merely a creator of circumstances, but the very source of creation itself. Manifestation is but the first step on the path of spiritual awakening. It is the doorway through which you begin to understand the power of your consciousness, the creative force that shapes your reality. But beyond the realm of desires fulfilled lies a deeper truth, a promise that transcends the material world. This is the promise of your divine identity, the recognition that you are not merely a human being seeking to create, but the very source of creation itself. The journey from manifestation to spiritual awakening is marked by the unfolding of the four mighty visions in consciousness. These visions are not external events, but inner revelations that transform your understanding of who you are. They are the stages through which you awaken to your true nature as pure consciousness, the infinite awareness that underlies all existence. The first vision is the recognition that the world is a reflection of your consciousness. You begin to see that every circumstance, every relationship, every experience is a projection of your inner state. This is the realization that the world is yourself pushed out. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your reality. The second vision is the awakening to your divine identity. You begin to see yourself not as a limited, separate self, but as the infinite awareness that animates all things. This is the recognition that you are not merely a human being, but the very source of creation. You are not bound by the limitations of the physical world, for you are pure consciousness, the eternal I Am. The third vision is the realization that all creation is within you. You begin to see that the outer world is not separate from you, but an extension of your own consciousness. This is the understanding that you are not merely a part of the universe, but the universe itself. You are the infinite awareness in which all things exist. The fourth vision is the awakening to your true nature as pure consciousness. You begin to see that you are not the body, nor the mind, nor the emotions. You are the awareness that observes all these things. You are the eternal I Am, the infinite presence that underlies all existence. This journey is not a linear process, but a spiral of deepening understanding. Each vision builds upon the last, leading you closer to the ultimate realization of your true nature. And as you awaken to this truth, you begin to see that the world is not something outside of you, but a reflection of your own consciousness. The world is yourself pushed out. This is the ultimate responsibility and the ultimate freedom. It is the recognition that you are the creator of your reality and that every experience is a reflection of your inner state. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of responsibility, for you can no longer blame others or circumstances for your experience. But it also brings a profound sense of freedom, for you realize that you have the power to shape your reality according to your assumptions. To awaken to your true nature is to transcend the world of form and enter the realm of pure consciousness. It is to see that you are not the body, nor the mind, nor the emotions. You are the awareness that observes all these things. You are the eternal I Am, the infinite presence that underlies all existence. This awakening is not the end of the journey, but the beginning. For as you awaken to your true nature, you begin to see that the world is not something to be escaped, but something to be transformed. You begin to see that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that by changing your consciousness, you can change the world. The journey from manifestation to spiritual awakening is the journey from the outer to the inner, from the world of form to the realm of pure consciousness. It is the recognition that you are not merely a creator of circumstances, but the very source of creation itself. The world is yourself pushed out. Awaken to your true nature as pure consciousness, and you will see that you are the creator of your reality, the infinite awareness in which all things exist. Consider a moment of deep meditation. As you sit in stillness, you begin to observe your thoughts, your emotions, your body. You realize that you are not these things. You are the awareness that observes them. You are the eternal I Am, the infinite presence that underlies all existence. This is the fourth vision, the awakening to your true nature as pure consciousness. The promise beyond manifestation is the promise of your divine identity. It is the recognition that you are not merely a human being seeking to create, but the very source of creation itself. Awaken to this truth, and you will see that the world is not something outside of you, but a reflection of your own consciousness. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because everyone deserves to know the power they hold within. The universe responds to those who dare to assume, to feel, and to command. If you're ready to step into your new reality, hit the like button, subscribe, and join this community of creators. Together, let's keep spreading the truth that changes lives. Thank you for watching.